Shalom, coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and to the hopeful elect pushing his word and truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. This lesson, or this video, is going to be titled, When He Casts You Out. Right? Hopefully it's a quick one. I'm just going to be talking about Most High and what happens when he takes his spirit off of you, right? Or his protection off of you, right? Now, I'm going to start off with a video from the show that I watch called Supernatural, right? About these two brothers, they fight basically monsters, demons, etc., right? They have friends that are angels, Right now in the last season, they're fighting God, right? So-called God. They have it looking like an Edomite, but nonetheless, they're fighting God. And, they have God portrayed as a playwright, right? He writes plays, which is the Most High. Everything's a movie, right? Now, in this season, or the end of the last season to this season, they angered the Most High, right? The Most High told them to do something, and they didn't do it. So they angered him. So now they're experiencing what happens when the Most High is against them. Because their whole lives, the Most High was with them, right? The whole story was about those two brothers fighting demons and everything like that. Things just worked for them, Things just always worked out for them. No matter what they did, it worked out. Now, the Most High is angry at them, and now he's working against them. So you're going to see what happens when the Most High works against you. This is all going to be explained with the scriptures. So he's going in the kitchen, the alarm's going off. Now this guy's good at cooking. He's never made a mistake when it comes to cooking, ever. But all of a sudden now he's going in the kitchen, the smoke alarm's going off, right?
Oh, no. Oh, great.
Hey, Teddy.
Hey.
What's new?
My psoriasis is back.
Oh.
You see right there, he was eating that candy, and he made that face is because he has a cavity now, right? That's why, if you had a cavity before, or if you had, stuff done with your teeth, you know how painful it is when you bite into things, right? So now he has a cavity. And you can see what's going on with the other brother. Broke the dishes.
40-32.
Right.
More mistakes. Things are just not working for them.
Decline.
What? No. That card's worked for like 5 years.
Sorry.
Credit card that he's had for 5 years, never had a problem once. All of a sudden has a problem now. Coincidentally, after these two basically spin the face of the Most High. Now, they didn't spin his face, but they basically said, we're not going to do what you're telling us to do, what you want us to do. We're going to do what we want to do. Now, look, all these things are happening, right? Almost done.
What? Seriously? Thanks, Teddy. Seriously?
Seriously?
Sammy!
Dean? Hey.
Almost slipped.
Was that a trip?
Yeah, weird.
There's a lot of that going on. In town, I just got a parking ticket.
Because you always park in front of that fire hydrant?
No. I mean, yes, okay, I park there every time. I never get a ticket, all right? Oh, and, this Doesn't work.
That's the card Charlie hacked for us, the one...
Yeah, the one that's supposed to be our no more hustling, always working golden ticket. Nothing.
Weird.
That's what I'm saying. Are you getting...
Now that guy's sick. What's funny about him, he's apparently a vegan. Vegan, eats healthy, always eating healthy, exercising, et cetera, et cetera. The other brother doesn't do any of that stuff, but this brother always does all that stuff. He's never been sick, never had problems with his body, right? Now he's getting sick.
I don't know, maybe. Oh, and dinner's at...
Man, this day, I'm telling you, what is next?
Right, so that's it on that. But the thing is, that eventually in the show, they realize that it's God, Most High, that's doing it all to them. Because remember, he's a playwright. Whatever he writes down is going to happen. But these two clowns had the audacity to not listen to what the Most High wanted them to do at the moment. And in other season, Most High wanted them to shoot somebody. They didn't do it because they wanted to do what they wanted to do. So now he's not taking care of them anymore, right? Right? He changed the narrative of the movie. So now they realize in the episode that everything that happened to them, when it was good, everything that's happened to them was because of the Most High. He made it happen. He did, not them. It wasn't them. He used them to do it. Right? Now, Esau has to put his nonsense in the show. What they do eventually happens in the show. They still think they can fight against the Most High. It was just Israel, really, the rebellious, the 2/3. But the point is that they realize that the Most High is the one who's doing all of that, right? The Most High is in control here, right? The scripture reads, actually, I just don't want to paraphrase. Okay, well. Okay, God. Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, which are the elect, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, right? To the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. So the Most High rules. Okay? So anything you do, when things happen, like when things are going well for you, it's because the Most High is doing it. When things are going bad for you, the Most High is doing it, right? He's going to use you to do certain things, whether it's wicked or righteous, but he's the one that's doing it. He's writing down the words in his play, in his movie, and it's happening, right? Because in the show, they have the Most High depicted as an Edomite, short midget Edomite, but they have him as a story writer, because that's what the Most High is. He's a story writer. This is a movie. So those two brothers realized that it was the Most High doing everything. And the same thing in the truth, in real life. It's the same thing. Right? Matthew 25:23. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Then he which had received 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant. Oh, Slakia, that's not the one I should be reading. Slakia. I'm going to Luke first. Luke 9. There we go. Luke 9:57. And it came to pass that as they went in the way, a certain man said unto him, Lord, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. And Yahushua said unto him, Foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man hath not where to lay his head. So he's saying that I don't know where I'm going to sleep, basically. I don't have a home to sleep on, like a bed or anything like that. So yeah, like this is a nomad's life, right? Basically, right? He's telling you, I don't have any, there's no certainty where we're going to stay, where we're going to sleep, anything like that if you follow me, right? And he said unto another, follow me. But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. Yahushua said unto him, let the dead bury the dead. Let the dead bury their dead. But go thou and preach the kingdom of Yahweh. Because kingdom, doing the work is more important than burying your father, right? The work should come first. When it's time to do something, you need to do it. It's not, oh, let me do this first, then do the work, right? Now, you still have to be balanced, of course, but Yahushua is telling you to follow you, and you're going to say, oh, I need to go bury my father first? So you're putting your father, your dead father, who's dead already, over Yahushua, who is alive, right? And another said, Lord, I will follow thee, but let me first go bid them farewell, which are at home at my house. And Yahushua said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom. Yeah, you can't start the work and all of a sudden stop and say, oh, let me go back and do this thing first. I'll come back to this. No. As soon as you start the work, you got to finish it. Finish it and complete it. Right? And basically in this last one, there's just a point, is you're not fit for the kingdom. So what happens if you're not fit for the kingdom? What is the Most High going to do to you? Right? Now, I just showed you that video, what happened to them. They put the hand to the plow. Right? They turned back. That's why the Most High got mad. He told them to do something. They were doing the work, killing the demons. All of a sudden, they said they're done. And he's like, oh, you're done? Really? Then boom. Now that's why all the things were happening to them. And they didn't figure out, they didn't know why it was happening. But they eventually figured out it was the Most High. So Revelations. So like I said, what happens when you put your hand to the plow? 3:15. Revelation 3:15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. Right? So you say he knows your mind, he knows your works, he knows that you're neither cold or hot. He said, I wish you were cold or hot. So then because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Right? Because if you're cold or hot, like it's either you haven't started yet or you're on fire. But he doesn't like anything in between, because that's just like the whole gray area stuff in this society, the gray area. It's either it's yay or nay, black or white, hot or cold, not warm. No, there's no warm here. Right? So the Most High said, I'd rather you cold or hot or cold, not lukewarm. So he says, so then because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. So the Most High is going to spew you out of his mouth if you're cold or if you're lukewarm. You're like, yeah, kind of do it. Like you're half-assing it basically, right? You're half-assing it, which is worse than being cold. Because at least you're cold, there's probably a reason why you're cold. Maybe you just haven't got hot yet. That's all. If you're hot, you're hot. But if you're lukewarm, it's just like you're half-assing. My coach used to always tell me when I was playing football, because I was a defensive end, outside linebacker. Anytime, like say if you know football, like anytime there's a gap, if you're gonna blitz, basically, blitz at 100%. Right? Don't blitz at 80%. Don't blitz at 90%. If you're gonna go and blitz to get the quarterback, go at 100% speed. And I asked him, I was like, why? Well, he's like, well, if you're going to make a mistake, you might as well make a mistake at 100%. Right? Because there's a chance you might fall and make the play. Who knows? But if you're going at 50%, there's no way you're going to make that play. I was like, oh, wow, that makes total sense. Right? So it's the same idea. Right? It's either you're cold or you're hot. And he also said, if you're going to go after the quarterback, it's either you go after him or if you don't. If you don't go after him, then don't do it. Just basically be cold. But if you do, you better be hot. right? Not lukewarm, which is 50%, right? So what happens when he spews you out of his mouth? What happens, huh? So we're going to go to Matthew. I jumped the gun earlier, but it's all good. Matthew 21, 18. Typed that wrong. Okay, Matthew 21 and 18. Now in the morning, actually, I'll read this. 17, and he left them and went out of the city into Bethany, and he lodged there. So he stayed there in the city, right? He left the disciples. Now in the morning, as he returned into the city, he hungered. So he was hungry. He's coming back to the city. He's like, oh, I'm hungry. See how was shy. And when he saw a fig tree in the way, he came to it and found nothing thereon. So he came to this fig tree that should have fruit on it because it's a fig tree. That's its main. That's its only purpose is to grow fruit. And he found nothing thereon. But leaves only, and said unto it, let no fruit grow on thee henceforth forever. And presently the fig tree withered away. So he told the fig tree to die, and it died. Because Yahweh Shai said it. That's the Most High's son. That's Yahweh's son. Right? So the point of this is that tree was lukewarm. Because it had the branches, it had, it was growing, it had the leaves, but it didn't have the fruit. So he's like, what? Oh, okay. So he told it to, he said, let no fruit grow on thee henceforth forever. So he spewed it out of his mouth, in a sense, right? There's another example of what happens when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? The first one was with Yahweh. The second one was with Yahweh Shai, right? Hence why you can't get to the Father without Yahweh Shai. That's his son. That was his first ambassador. Right? So now we're going to go to Matthew. So the one where I was at before, like I said, I jumped the gun early. So this will make sense what I was reading before. Matthew 25-23. His Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. So basically what's happening here, Yahweh Shai gave them talents, which you can refer to as money, right? And, with money, you want to grow your money. You just don't want it to stay the same. You make investments. You want your money to grow. So Yahweh Shai gave them money to these certain men, and he came back to see what they did with the money he gave them, right? Or talents, right? Because you can look at it as money, money as in this scripture, it's gonna be money, but this money is referred to as talents, right? And you can take that as actual talents that you have, abilities that the Most High has given you, whether it's you speaking different languages, whether it's you being good with numbers, whether it's you being very personable with people, being able to talk to people, very knowing personalities, whatever your skill is. The Most High gave you skills, but he wants you to double those skills. So you got to turn them into more skills, right? From the skills that he gave you, right? So when he comes back, when Yahweh Shai comes back, he wants to see what you did with that. The first amount he gave you. Did you double it? Did you double his investment? Right? Because he's the one that gave it to you. Right? So that's what's going on here. His Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. So he gave him a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that... Say, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering that where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. So he hid his talent. He didn't use the talent that the Most High gave him. Yahweh Shem Shai gave him. He just hid it. He didn't use it. And Yahweh Shai came back, and he's like, okay, what'd you do with the talent I gave you? Right? His Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I soweth not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchanger. So the money exchange is referring to, because it's talent is money, right? And is and then at my coming I should have received mine own with usury, which is interest, right? So you're supposed to double it or triple it if you can. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. So what he'll do, he's take the talent from you and give it to the one who has already 10 talents. Because that person had 10 talents, used the talents that the Most High gave him, Yahweh Shai gave him, and made it to more, right? So the example in that video I showed you, they had talents, right? And there was an opportunity for them to double it, right? And basically they didn't listen to the Most High, and that's what happened. So he took them away, right? The talents were taken away. That's the main point. They took away the talents, and look what happened to those brothers. Things were not working out for them, and nothing. It was like their protection was gone. The protection was gone, right? For unto every one that has shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away, even that which he hath. So just like I said, and cast ye that unprofitable servant into utter darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So utter darkness is complete darkness. You don't have the light anymore, which is the scriptures through Yahushai. Yahushai is referred to as a light also. You don't have him guiding you, right? He's not knocking on your door. He's not supping with you. And if he's not supping with you, that means the Most High is not dealing with you. So you're in the dark, right? You can't see. So just like those brothers, they can't see. They didn't know what was going on. He didn't know why his car wasn't working. He didn't know why he was getting sick, right? He didn't have the protection. He didn't have the light. He didn't have the Rakah Kodash on him anymore, right? All because he didn't listen. That's how serious it is, right? So now we're going to go to Matthew 24, the last one. That's what you have to do your job. You have a job to do it. If you're supposed to do the work, do it. You're supposed to make a video, do it. If you're supposed to study, do it. Because the Most High is watching you. Like I read, he knows your thoughts. He knows whether you're hot or cold. He said he'd rather you be hot or cold, not lukewarm. And if you're lukewarm, he's going to spew you out of his mouth. Matthew 24 and 45. Who then is a faithful and wise servant whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household to give them meat in due season? Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Yeah. So blessed is that wise and faithful servant who, when his Lord, Yahweh Shai, comes, he's working. He's doing the work. Right? Verily I say unto you that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. So he'll make him ruler over everything. You make him a king, because that's what happened. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, following the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability, being hot, because you don't want to be cold, even though it says to be hot or cold, he'd rather you be hot or cold. By the time Yahweh Shai comes, you should be hot, right? Yeah, you should be hot. You don't want to be cold at that time. Right? You're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, making your videos, preaching. Well, at those times we won't be preaching because we'll be found in the word, but right, doing everything you're supposed to be doing to the best of your ability, right? He'll make you rule over his goods because you give you that crown of life. Once you get that crown of life, you're one of the elect. You get beamed up into the chariots and you're saved, right? And if that evil servant shall say in his heart, which is his mind, my Lord delayeth his coming, so the Most High is not here yet. He's not here yet. And shall begin to smite his fellow servants and to eat and drink with the drunken. So basically, do everything you're not supposed to be doing, right? Getting drunk, drinking, being asleep, so to speak, in mind, mentally. The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of him, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So the word hypocrite, false pretender to virtue or religion, stage actor, pretender, dissembler, a person who professes beliefs and opinions that he or she does not hold in order to conceal his or her real feelings of motives. Yeah, so you're going to be with the people that are all casted out. All the people, the 2/3, the heathens, you're going to be with those people. Just because you weren't doing what you're supposed to be doing till the end, when he told you to do it, right? You weren't being hot. You don't want to be cold. There's no time for cold right now. You gotta be hot. Right? You weren't hot. You weren't on fire. You weren't producing fruits. You weren't turning your 5 talents into 10 talents. Right? You weren't doing any of that. So yeah, you're finished. And I showed you the example what happens. And that's a mild example. What was happening to him was mild compared to what will really happen. It says there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. You're gonna be crying, you'll be scratching, you'll be going crazy. Right? So that's it on that. I hope that was edifying. I feel like I hit the point. I don't need to keep talking. So I like to close out by saying Ka Halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and to the hopeful elect pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Death and destruction to his wicked kingdom, and the 2/3 as well. Kwam Yasharallah, Abad Babal, Shalom.